Raúl.
Is that too weird?
No, perfect.
No, it's amazing,
Getting
actually.
weird.
I'm just gonna go to my apartment.
I'm in outer space. I like that.
Oh, the apartments come up, I see. Yeah, we're live.
Hello, everybody. My name is Celine. I am the marketing associate here at Molière in the Park, and I play the Molière character you saw at the beginning sometimes. So thank you so much for joining us, and this is the Q&A. We've been collecting your questions. So let's begin. The first question is from Joanna. What's this pigeon thing? Are they really having issues, or is it part of the show?
Andy, are you there? Can you
I think Andy should say. Andy, can you answer that?
introduce yourself?
So my name's Andy. I'm from Liminal Entertainment, and we did some of the technology behind the camera switching and some of the other video things we did. And I would say it was a little bit of both. We did need a little bit longer to transition than the graphic that we had, but Chris Stone just made such an amazing graphic that it would be such a shame not to use it. So a little bit of both.
And yes, that was our tech wizard with some crazy reverb going on and interesting things, right?
Okay, let's keep going. What kind of video system is being used for this? Maybe another question for Andy.
Sure. So there's a couple of things going on. A video pipeline, if you will. We start with Zoom OSC, which is a proprietary interface for Zoom that lets it work like a switcher. So you can act like a camera operator, picking who to take. And that goes into a media server where we're doing graphics and effects, taking some of the backgrounds that Chris Stone made, some of Emily's animations, making some really cool stuff, and then pumping that out to a broadcaster and ultimately to you on our distribution platform.
Okay, great. Andy, you're still getting a lot of reverb.
Yeah,
Okay.
Whatever that means.
You're still double sound.
A question from Cassie Rowe for Raúl. Do you ever warn your mother when you decide to put just a little extra of yourself into your performance, or is she just used to it by now?
I never warned my mother about anything.
I think that's the best answer. Okay. Another question for Raúl. Why the pink mouse?
I don't know. We needed pink, and it seemed right for Tartuffe. He has a pet mouse.
All right. Another question for the cast. Such a fabulous Saturday night out at the live theater. Bravo and thank you. How different or more or less difficult, scary are these Zoom performances versus live on stage theater, TV, movies, etc.?
Samira, do you want to take that one?
Hello, everyone. I think that, this for me has a lot of the same, my wife was asking me, am I nervous? And yes, I was very nervous. There are a lot of the same feelings as if this was a live performance, probably because it is. I don't know. It's just so nice to be able to, especially in this time of COVID, connect with people this way. And I think because this is the time we're living in right now, it actually doesn't feel that odd because we're like trying to do it in this way now. So I don't know. It's I'm not answering this question very well, but basically all the same jitters.
Yeah, one of the best things about doing this was that all week long when we were putting this together, it felt like we were in a room together. It really did. It felt like we were rehearsing a play, and you would turn off the computer and then remember that, oh no, wait, I'm home. Even so, doing the show is a little bit less like that because we can't really see each other while we're dealing with the script and the technical elements, but you still get a sense of each other in the space, and that's kind of wildly cool.
All right. Let's keep going. A question for some of the creative team. Is there symbolism behind which colors are used in each scene?
Chris and Emily, you take that one.
Lucy, you chose them.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for that, Chris. You know what? No, there isn't. I mean, I'm sure there is subliminally for me. I felt like these colors just emotionally corresponded to how the act speaks to me, and that's really it's a completely instinctual emotional response to the language and what's going on in the act.
Okay, great.
Do you want me to?
Oh,
sure. Add something, Chris.
Also, we were going to do changes in colors with the furniture, so we were going to complement the color of the bubbles versus the furniture, but then we fell in love with the red furniture. So after that, we progressed to Lucy's favorite color, which is Molière pink, which is what we end in.
Yeah, a lot of the way the show colors are is really just to help you feel the separation of the acts, because this isn't a natural show where you have a curtain closed and everything. So to give you a sense of change and time passing, and so that each act feels a little bit different from the other. And, you know, our final Molière pink is calling back to the pink that's used to brand the entire Molière in the Park idea.
Yes, and so this is Chris Stone, our production designer, and Emily Rawson, our animator. Thank you.
all right. A question from Jennifer. When I first saw Tartuffe in college, it seemed inevitable to me that all the other characters would see Tartuffe's true nature. Seeing it in 2020, it didn't seem inevitable anymore, that some would still not see the hypocrisy. Do any of the cast or crew feel that difference doing this play now?
Naomi.
Thanks, Lucy. It's funny, that lip bite was like, it does not feel different now. I'm glad that we are in a very specific moment in history where I think worldwide there's been an awakening to this type of hypocrisy and a real movement toward not only unveiling it, but maybe abolishing it, distinguishing it. November's coming up, so do what you gotta do, just a reminder. But yeah, it doesn't feel different, but it feels so appropriate to this time, just as a reminder for whoever wasn't there yet to see people for who they really are.
All right. Next question from Joanna. Can you talk about how this all came together and how long the rehearsal period was?
Lucy, that's going to be you. Go ahead.
So we had 25 hours with the actors as per our agreement with Actors Equity. And then with our tech crew, we had 1,000 hours, it seems like. No, we did not. We put it together in a week, which it turned out was not enough time because we had to work through the night more than once to make this happen. So it was an ambitious project to pull off in this time, in a week, but this crowd, this group, this incredibly talented group of actors and designers were willing to, you know, put in the work and make it happen. And so yeah, but yeah, 25 hours of rehearsals and I don't know, maybe 40 hours of tech or something like that.
Okay. Another question for the actors. How did your process change to accommodate performing on the Zoom structure? Maybe Toccarra, since you're new to this, especially you weren't with Toccarra and Carter weren't with us last for the Misanthrope.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Yeah. Woo. It was so funny. In the last talk back, I talked about how Kaliswa and I, who we've been friends for a very long time, for like 15 years now, and I text her about 10 minutes before our first show today, and I was like, I'm nervous. Like I was like, I thought I was gonna be real cool about it, but I was not cool at all. But yeah, just the thing that I was the most nervous about was unmuting myself. We have to mute and unmute ourselves throughout the performance. Let me tell you how that is a doozy, okay? And I even have like a little sticky note right here that says unmute yourself, like to remind me, because that's how real it was for me over here in these parts. But I had such a blast working with these folks. Yes, I see it, Samira. I had
Who else has sticky notes? Hold them up.
Everybody got their sticky notes. But no, I had just a complete blast. I am so grateful that I got a chance to do this. It is very, very different than any other kind of acting I've done. And I'm going to borrow from you earlier, Kaliswa, when you said it kind of lives in this world between film and TV and theater. It's like, it's not either. It lives in the middle somewhere. And the choices that you have to make, you end up surprising yourself. So yeah, this was super different in the most amazing way.
I think for me, the most interesting part was you're not, in terms of connecting with your scene partners and other people in the scene with you, you're looking at a camera and not at them. So you're reacting to what you're hearing and what's going on in the scene, but you're not actually looking at them. You're looking at the camera. So for me, that was it took me a minute to adjust to that, while also scrolling on the script and also unmuting. So you're like a tech operator and an actor, and you're listening, you got your eye line. It's a lot going on. So it was definitely new for me, but I had a lot of fun, and this is what we're doing in the time of COVID-19. Here we are. So I'm glad we were able to pull it off the way we did.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's go to the next question. How do you think Molière would react to this performance? The real one, not me.
Jared, why don't you take that one?
No, there's definitely no way I'm going to be able to answer that. That should be for you, right? Is this another translation from the same translator, right?
Yeah, Richard Wilbur.
Yeah. And you met Richard Wilbur, so that's the closest you can come to Molière. So you'd be better to answer that. I pass it to you.
Okay. Yeah. So how would Molière feel? Oh my gosh, no, I can't. I don't know. I hope he'd be happy. I hope we serve him well. Obviously, we have a lot of respect and incredible admiration for his work and his ability to shed light or point the light on aspects of who we are and who we are as a people, as individuals, as a society. And so, I think that's what we're trying to do as well. Richard Wilbur, who translated his plays into English and who I think is a poet and a genius, who I did have the honor of meeting one day with Jennifer Mudge, who played Doreen in this production. And I did feel like I was somehow touching Molière by being with Richard Wilbur. I mean, we met on the eve of his 90th birthday. He translated The Misanthrope in Tartuffe, if I'm correct, in the 1950s, and this was maybe 2008 or 2009 when we met him. His love of language, of Molière's language, of his rhythm, of his message, of the questions that he asks was just so palpable and powerful. It was an incredible night that I will never forget.
All right.
See, that was so much better than what I was going to say. I was going to say, I have no idea what Molière would think about.
Okay, we should give Jared a break because it's what time in the morning? Your time, Jared?
Now it's 3:30 in the morning.
3:30, because Jared, and let everybody know where you are.
I'm in Italy, so I'm 6 hours ahead of most of everybody, the people in New York.
Because we're in New York. And Samira, what time is it now where you are?
It's like 6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m. Right.
Same
So,
with Carter. Same with Carter.
I want to be clear though that the time of day has nothing to do with the fact that I would have no idea what Molière would think.
I was throwing you a lifeline, bro. I was trying to.
Cillian, get us back on track.
So yes, let's keep going. To be Jared, so we did have some people joining us from your time zone in the chat, so you weren't alone.
Buongiorno.
Yeah. A question from Allison. I enjoyed the gender blind casting. What was the intention behind it?
Samira.
Don't you do that. Come on now. You casted me. Or not casted. You cast me, Lucy. And I'll start by saying one thing. I think that for the character of Damis is written as a man, but we changed it to a woman. And for the character of Orgon, as you can see, this is not actually me. So I was playing a man, and I'm interested in hearing you speak, Lucy, just about those are two very distinct choices, changing the gender of a character, and then having someone play that gender that is not that gender.
Yeah.
Continue.
Again, I mean, I think so often it's really just instinctual and more than it is intellectual. But in retrospect, I mean, I wanted to see Naomi play Damis. I wanted to see a woman play this fiery, angry, impetuous, young man, because I feel like a lot of us women have that same, level of rage. And so I was into that, and for Orgon, I think Orgon is he's such an archetype and a stereotype, and I was just dying to see a woman take on that man and just put her stamp on it, just put her just see that man through the lens of a woman, and even better, Samira Wiley. So that's what drove all of my decisions.
It was a pleasure.
All right. It is 9:31. Do we want to do another question, or should we end this, Lucy?
I think we can take a couple more.
We can take some more. We're not we're okay, I think.
Okay. We'll keep going. Let's see. This is a question for the actors, and maybe a couple of you can speak about this and how it went. Could you see yourselves on the screen when you were acting, or could you not see yourselves? Could you see the other actors? How did that play out?
I'll answer. I think we were really lucky in that we had, we were provided with the feed that we could pin that would show us exactly what the audience was seeing. And that was very helpful because, as Carter mentioned, we weren't really speaking to one another. Most of the time we were looking into the camera, because we found that looking into the camera made it seem more like we were speaking to one another than if we were looking down to our squares. So having that reference point, and I think we each chose differently what we did with that. I chose to focus more on my script and have the little picture of what was happening like a little bit lower, that I could refer down to it, but it was probably different for every actor. But I will say it was really helpful to have that reference point there.
Yeah, I would just add that one of the hard things to focus on actually during the reading is to actually have to stare at the little green light constantly. So if I did in fact see myself off to the side, I would just get distracted by watching it. So I kept my script as close to the green light as possible for the entire. But actually, I did watch 4/5 of it on the IBM. So that was a big treat for me.
I think it was
got to read all the
interesting.
comments.
To look at it from a design perspective as well, like what the lineage from what we did for Misanthrope and what our work practice here was. and how we tried. And I looked at this and I said, I want to be able to give Lucy real-time preview so that you can engage in iterative design, and that the actors can then engage in a synergistic way. And I think real-time monitoring is a huge portion of that, being able to design in a medium that is decentralized.
Well said.
All right. Let's do another couple.
Celine, hold on. There's like 4 people asking the same question about Raúl's and Jenny's handkerchief handoff. Apparently it's important enough that they want to know about it.
He lives.
I haven't seen that one. Yes. What is? How did you manage the handkerchief handoff?
Well, that was one of those things that last time when we did Misanthrope, we didn't have the same kind of ability as actors to watch which direction you were turning. But this one, if you had the little box, depending again, like those of you following at home with the hole in the top, you have the lens, I kind of had my little camera here, my script here. And so I was able to see when Raúl like kind of threw it, and then I caught it and I just got a piece of felt that matched that scarf that he had. Does that explain it?
Yes, and then you throw yours back, and then
you give a good wind up so they're ready.
Yes, you could see it coming, and then you just throw it back in your own face.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like
I find those moments to be incredibly surprisingly theatrical. Like the other moment where you do the hand thing, you put the hand down, and Toccarra, you say, "What could your hand be doing there?" And even though we absolutely know that your hand's not touching her leg, there's something about it that feels so tactile and palpable. I think it's quite extraordinary.
The fact of being able to see each other like that and being able to play around from the very first day actually then inspired all kinds of creativity in terms of choices and things that I didn't think would necessarily be available to us in this particular setting. And it was really surprising then how much your actor brain kicks in and you just start being like, what if? You're basically watching us rehearse here because we've only had it for a little while, but sometimes those choices are really fantastic. Sometimes it would take us a whole month to get back to some of the great things we found here together, because we aren't second guessing ourselves. We're just like just go. And so that kind of thing is just totally about trusting the other actor. And in order to be able to do that, it was very surprising in this environment, and really playful. And also to get to watch each other is inspiring a little bit, when you're not on, to hear the way other people are doing things. It's like, all right, I'm on, let's do this thing. That's great too. And so that leads to it leads to creativity of like, let's do this, let's play. I don't know, but let's try it. And that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you, maybe another question for Lucy, did you choose this play due to everything currently going on in the world?
Yes, we chose Tartuffe as a response to what we're seeing. We did. Yes, so we chose Tartuffe about 6 weeks ago now, totally in response to what I think is an appalling level of religious hypocrisy that I see, especially, and I will say it, in the religious right in this country. And I just think that it's condemnable, and just, I have no words. So that drove our decision, Garth and my decision, to do Tartuffe, and then I can't even say his name, but he gave us such an incredible marketing opportunity with his Bible brandishing moment. I mean, here we were, just okay, we're doing this play, and he is doing his thing, and we need to vote him out of office. We just have to, and then George Floyd and the starting of this movement that will continue until real change happens. So all of that just felt like a moment that needed to be seized. Garth, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, there are things that happen in life sometimes which make you say, yeah, I guess this was supposed to happen. And I feel like the decision to go with Tartuffe, it seemed like day by day that went by over the last 3 weeks. I mean, we had decided to do this 6 weeks ago. Day after day over the past 3 weeks was like, yeah, it couldn't possibly be the more correct choice for what Molière wrote, and the words that are within and how they've been interpreted by Lucy and the actors. I mean, to have it hold up so well to this very moment in time it just felt like it was supposed to be.
All right, great. Lucy and Garth, would you like to keep going? It's almost 9:40.
No, I think we should, I don't know, I think we should probably let everyone.
One more question.
One more, okay.
Are there any plans or ideas floating around of continuing to do these? Or what are MIP's plans or ideas for the future?
Well, I'll take this one. I mean, at this point, nobody knows exactly when we're going to be able to get back out and get together in a large setting in a theater. I mean, we're fortunate in that we've been doing our shows outdoors, so that's helpful. But until we get to a place that we can actually go back and congregate together, we look forward to that. We really miss our little new home in Prospect Park at the LeFrak Center. Until we do that, this seems to be a way that we continue to try to get free theater out to the people, which is the reason why MIP was founded in the first place. So that's my 2 cents on it. Lucy, any thought?
No, you said it all. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. The recording of the show will be available on our YouTube channel until 2 p.m. Eastern Time on July 1st. So you can share it with your friends. You can watch it again if you want. Thank you for joining us. Remember, if you can afford to and you'd like to donate, you can donate at our website, moliereandthepark.org. And we can't wait to see you all again.
I just want to say one more thing, which is I want to introduce Chloe, who is right here, who is responsible for our French subtitles. So thank you. I really also want to give cheers to Emily Rawson, who did our animation between acts.
Emily.
I also want to give cheers to Chris Stone, who did our staff.
Yes.
And Andrew Carluccio, the incredible engineer behind all of this. Am I missing anyone? Paul Pinto was here. He's our sound composer, but I think he had to go to another rehearsal. What? Anyway, thank you, everyone.
Oh, yeah, Madison, our stage manager, who did a ridiculous job. Just there she is. She popped up. Thank you, Madison. You're amazing, fantastic. So, and individually, Toccarra, Naomi, Kaliswa, Carter, Jenny, Chris, Jared, Samira, and Raúl. You guys were phenomenal. And
Rosemary.
And Rosemary, Rosemary. All right. It went well when you're 90 years old. I have to duck out and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
She went to go answer her landline.
She does have that landline.
Oh, Samira, you went and did that, didn't you? Huh? you went and did that, didn't you? All right. Well, anyway, lots of love to all the crew and cast, and a phenomenal experience. And I hope that you guys out there enjoyed what we were able to put together. And I'm gonna go drink now.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you.